All right, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, and we're going to go ahead and record this as well, so that it'll be available after the meeting, and we'll post it on our website, social media, and other places. All right. So first of all, hello. My name is Louis Smotherman. I'm the executive director for Baton Rouge Soccer Club and the president for TDP Elite. My partners in this venture are Hubie Collins with Louisiana Fire and Kevin Mooney with Dynamo Juniors in Lafayette. And I have with me on the call the director for the program, Kieran Bullock. I'm gonna wave there, Kieran. And Bobby Velasquez is the assistant director. And I also want to thank Trent Bland for his countless hours in putting together the presentation and all the media he does for us. And I want to thank all the coaches around the state for developing these young players and developing all the talent that we have here in Louisiana. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
And Louis, whilst you're sharing the screen, if you have a question, if you could just write in the chat of the Zoom meeting, and then at the end we can look to answer those questions rather than interrupting throughout the presentation. So, like I said, if you got any questions, just pop it in the chat, and we'll try and answer them at the end.
All right, we're going to go ahead and just play a short video to start it off.
This is our league, by us, for us. We, the players, are ready. Ready to fight. Ready to compete. We will use our voice for generations to come. Ready to realize our dreams. I've worked hard for this. I'm not stopping now. National team staff know where we are. My team has my back. College coaches will watch us soar. Watch us grow. We got this.
So about the Girls Academy, for many years, we've been seeking the highest level of play and opportunities for our Louisiana players, and in particular the females. Fortunately for us, we were able to land the boys MLS Next last year, but all the while we were always pushing to try to get into the GA or ECNL. Everybody knows the top two platforms, the leading platforms for the girls, are hands down the ECNL and the Girls Academy. This is not a league or an opportunity that can come from any one team. I don't believe any one club in our state would be awarded this opportunity either. But if we can come together and work together in the best interest of the players, which is what we've done, and demonstrate that we can compete on a regional and national level with the full pathway from U13 to U19, we would have a chance to get into a top level league, and now we've been given that chance. It's important to know how we got here. First, it started with an affiliation with Houston Dynamo and Paul Holliker. Paul, if none of you have met him, we've done some TDP events with him, but he's a visionary, and his interest is in the growth and the development of soccer, boys and girls. His vision includes putting together the best practices from around the world and sharing it with all who will listen. And after we affiliated ERSC, Dynamo Juniors, Louisiana Fire, through a collaboration and partnership, we look to go outside the box and provide Louisiana players more opportunities by way of a partnership. Got some folks trying to jump in. And to push and get the highest level opportunities for your kids. And although we sought ECNL and GA for years, you know, like I mentioned, we were able to get the boys program, learn from it, and then now finally the GA. So I had met with the GA commissioner last year and was advised to look into the DPL, Development Player League, and try to build a conference and play in that league, kind of cut our teeth in the national league that GA was most familiar with. In markets where GA is available, DPL is a second-tier league. In markets where there's no GA, then DPL is a national platform. Similar, in my opinion, to that of US Youth Soccer National League. That DPL conference that we formed, it included the clubs like Lobos Rush, Mississippi Rush, Gulf Coast United, Cabosa, NASC, and us with TDP Elite. I think Mississippi Rush and Lobos Rush have gotten into E64. I think both of them would have loved to have had a chance, and I think they applied to get into GA, but we were the only club selected in this Gulf South region. Yeah. So for us in Louisiana, this is an amazing opportunity. And then in that DPL league, and thanks to all of our teams from across the state and competing well in DPL, you know, we delivered. And because we competed and did very well in that league, GA was following us along in all of those games. And through competing in competition, it helped our chances to secure this league. So our vision, you know, we want to provide the best training environment for players. We are expecting to train 4 times a week. We want opportunities for players to train with older players individually, train with the boys, through training apps. In order to get better, we know we need to play against players and teams that are as good as us and better than us. And the players and teams we'll be playing against will be the best players from each of the cities and surrounding cities and areas of the clubs and programs involved. We'll be utilizing similar training sessions and methodology in both the GA and MLS Next. Our directors for the boys and the girls will be collaborating weekly. And there's no comparison, the opportunities for college showcasing, regional ID, and national identification our players will be afforded. So the conference that we're going to be playing in, this is the conference from last year, the Frontier Conference. There are 2 new clubs. They were considering some realignment, but instead they're going to keep these 8 clubs in, and then Renegades out of Dallas, Texas, and TDP Elite out of Louisiana have been added to the conference. We'll be on the graphic soon over here to the right. This is just a snapshot of the summer playoff and showcase scouts that have signed up so far for this summer. There's going to be many, many more. Many of you may have heard, but at our Boys MLS Next Fest in December, early December, there were over 400 college coaches and just coaches up and down the sidelines. And for the Girls Academy and their showcase events, it's very similar. So our tryouts, due to, you know, we've been talking to the GA and interviewing with the GA for about 2 months. And then due to the late start, due to LSA tryouts and invitations, we needed to squeeze in the 2010s just because we're up against it. The invitations go out from the state. I think it's April 22. And so we're trying to get the tryouts in and identification done before that. So we've squeezed in another one for next Thursday, and we're going to do it down in New Orleans. The 2009 on up, you can see the session dates there. The first one for all players will be April 24th. And then the second session will be May 9th. All players who are interested, we want to make sure they're registered online so we know that they are interested. I know some players can make one, some can make two. And then there are even some situations where there's some players that are injured. And we'll have to get with their coaches and others to assess. Our practice schedule, our training schedule is as follows. So Monday will be hub or individualized training or game, video, match analysis, individual player video analysis. Valhalla, we have a partnership with Valhalla Strength and Conditioning training app, and we are considering a Skills Masters individual technical training app. And then depending on the game schedule, Monday could be a training session at a hub as well. Tuesday, Thursday, the training sessions would be in Baton Rouge. Wednesday would be a hub in each of the cities. There's a chat here. Karen, do you have that chat?
It's probably me saying everybody mute their mic. That was
okay. It's got it. Okay. So the league, what we're looking at, we just heard on a league call 2 days ago what the 2023 season will look like. So we'll likely start in August, first games in September, play through early December, the early December showcase. And for the 13s and 14s, start back in February sometime. And the 15s through 19s start back in March after high school. So yes, the GA players can play high school. The costs and fees are as follows. So the registration fees include things like insurance, the bond, registration, training sessions, the coaching, 10 months of the year training instead of your typical club is 7 to 8 months. And then we have a full-time director, assistant director, goalkeeping director, administration, and marketing. The team fees, what we're looking to do, and I'm going to get to it here in just a bit, is we're trying to offset the team fees with each team being able to sell the training jerseys. I'll talk about that here as we go. So our game jerseys would be something like this. We're trying to get a title sponsor for the front, put on another sponsor on the back, and then sponsors on the sleeves. A percentage of these fees would go towards helping with registration costs. So the costs are there, but if we can get the jerseys done, jersey sponsored, then we want to offset and reduce the registration fees as we go. This is the back, sleeves for the jersey, and then the practice tops. We got started on this late. We have leads on different sponsors, but like on the boys side, we have one team that's already taken care of their fees, their team fees for next year. We want to do the same per team, every age group, to raise this, and all of these funds will go towards paying the team fees. So, in summary, players can certainly do what they need to improve technically, but soccer is a team sport. And the more frequently the players can train together, the more they can have excellent competition and training, the more they can have quality coaching day in, day out, the better their chances are for success. We all know that if you're a good player or a great player, you need to play against others who are as good as or better than you. And you need to compete against teams that are as good as or better than you. And there's no doubt that this platform will provide the best competition for our girls. There's a ton of college opportunities and regional and national team ID opportunities if you can get in front of them, or if they can get in front of you. The majority of all the scouts out there are going to ECNL and GA events.
Okay.
That's where they're going. So if we put our kids in the same environment and have access to that environment, our kids will also have those same opportunities. And finally, this is an open and inclusive program for all the top players in the state. Any top coach in the state, we welcome you to come and participate as well. We want to work together with everybody in the best interests of the players today and in the future. This is something that we've been trying to achieve for a long time for our whole state and players outside of our state. So we want to make the best of it. We don't want this to be a one-off. You have to rejoin and reapply every year, and you have to compete. And so we want to make sure we do all of those things. With that, you can open it up for questions.
So first one is travel from home and away schedules. Right now, the schedule hasn't been released. Most of the ages will have home and away fixtures. Unlike the boys' side this year, where it was traveling just for one game on a Saturday, GA is allowing us to travel and play one game on a Saturday and then play a next team on a Sunday. So there is home and away, and it's receptive where we travel to them, they'll come to us, and the home games will be in Baton Rouge. Some age groups, depending on the numbers, may have to play an opponent 3 times, one home, one away. And then if it's their home game this year, next year we'll get the 2 home games. So that's where the schedule is for that. For full-time and part-time players, specifically non-hub players, we're allowing part-time players to be involved. Obviously, Shreveport is a different norm, seeing how they are up north. The biggest one is we'll work with them. I already spoke to the GA commissioner when it comes to asking them how they would register up. Certainly, we would get with Mark Matlock and Gary McCormick from Shreveport to discuss how we would work with the club when it comes to prioritizing GA games and their club schedule up there. Another question was, how do we register? If you follow the link. Sorry.
Go ahead.
How do we register? If you register, you can go on our website. Also, it's on the link on the social media as well. So you can register up through there, and I'm pretty sure Louis can post a link on the chat as well whilst I'm going through these questions. Rain out contingency in practice and playing up. So rain out right now, obviously, we're having a lot of issues with the weather, and we can't. That's something that we can't do when it comes to scheduling that. That's Mother Nature itself. But we do plan, if we're rained out, that extra hub practice on the Monday, where it may be a weekend where we haven't got any games. We'll put an extra practice on to make up the practices, and we will look to do practices on the Monday if we need to make up that plan. Right now, we are working diligently to see if we can get a backup option on a turf. But all of that options, obviously, we're still working through that as well. When it comes to guest play, there will be no guest players. You have to be on the roster. You have to be registered within the GA program. And for playing up, each player must try out in their age group. For play-ups, it's a case by case. And that will be between myself, Louis, and Bobby to decide if a player is allowed to play up or not, depending on their age group. With the GA, it's obviously completely different to league. We understand play-ups because in the league where you want better competition or you want to be on a team that's more competitive, here at the GA, it is not that case. In the GA, every age group is very competitive. So we try and, like every age group, we try to keep all the players in their age group. There are opportunities to play up if an age group needs a player to play up, or if a coach says, hey, this player needs the opportunity to go and play up and train up. We do have that option as well. Tuesday and Thursday practices, team practices are in Baton Rouge as the hub, as a central location. Can you get kicked out of GA for poor performances? The only way you can get kicked out of GA really is if we don't fulfill our schedule. If we don't fulfill our schedule and we don't do, each team has a league schedule, and if we don't fulfill that schedule, then you will be, obviously, then we lose our bond, and then there's a conversation for their poor performances. It's not a case of you get relegation. It's that you're on a case where we need to perform. So that's that answer there. Will the PowerPoint be distributed? Yes, the PowerPoint will be posted on our TDP Elite website, and it will also be posted on the social networks as well. We will recruit players.
We're recruiting players every day.
Every day. Recruitment wise, we are working with obviously the hub affiliates. So Fire and Dynamo. We're also working with other clubs as well. So the word is out. Hence why we've got one of the directors of coaching from Shreveport on here as well. So we're working on trying to pull players, all the best talented players around, and giving them an opportunity to play at the level. Girls allowed to play.
All of the directors, I should say the vast majority of the directors have all agreed to push out the information and encourage their top players to participate. We know, at least for the hub clubs, the clubs that are collaborating and in partnership, we're all on the same page to strongly encourage the top players to participate. So we've had a lot of inquiries, a lot of interest. I think we'll see and know more come that April 24th over the 2 tryouts.
Our girls allowed to play locally as well. If you're on the GA roster, you're expected to be on the GA team, apart from the part-time players up north. So if you're registered down south and you are on the GA team, you will play only on your GA team. Travel requirements. Yes, the booking will go through a travel agency. It's up to you guys if you want to look for other arrangements, but it's a partnership through the GA that they send us out the hotel requirements. So just like if teams have played in the National League before and Mid-South, you have to go through their travel company. The roster size, we're looking for 18 plus 2 goalkeepers. So we're looking for 20. That's the ideal, or 16 field players, 2 goalkeepers on each team. Can also Eastern L players play for us? That's a question for Louis. Can Eastern L players play for us?
Yeah, I don't think there's any prohibition for ECNL players to play in the GA. I think it'll come down to a matter of priority. Both of those leagues will tell the player that it's the priority. I think it might be dependent on which league is the rostered, the home club for the player. But they're all going to want the players to be committed to the league games.
One of the questions: will players be held to be committed to the team and make it the team and participate in every game? We would like all players who are registered to try and make, obviously, all the practices and all the games. If there is conflicts, then we totally understand that. We obviously know that a lot of families have multiple siblings and obviously other things going on. My biggest one is, as long as you communicate with your coach when you registered up for that team, saying, hey, we may be out on a certain day during the week, or we may be out a certain weekend. That gives the coach enough time if we need to look for players to play up. If they're missing a certain player, then they can pull from within the age groups within our girls academy.
I think to add to that, I think if players are lacking commitment and not showing up without good reason or extenuating circumstances, then it would be reflected in their minutes. I mean, if you're gonna commit to the level and the team, you need to be there.
Coaches for each age group, Louis?
Yes. So starting with, we'll start with the 05s. Rafi Nunez will be the head coach. The 06s, Kieran Bullock will be the head coach. The 07s, Bobby Velasquez will be the head coach. The 08s, Lynn Bradley will be the head coach. The 09s, Adrian Garcia will be the head coach. The 2010s, Chris Mitchell will be the head coach. Our goalkeeper trainer, director will be Lynn Bradley as well. Adrian Garcia, Kieran, and Bobby will float to help the other teams as needed.
Oh, wait, coach will be Lynn Bradley.
Lynn Bradley.
You had a question there. Let's see if there's any more.
This is the first year for Louisiana. Yes.
There will not be a parent, volunteer, or manager for each team. Everything will be done either by myself, Bobby, as directors, and we'll go through the coaches as well. We may ask parents for help when it comes to away games where we have to supply ice chests of water, obviously for traveling, and then home games where we need to supply waters and replenishment, such as, you know, bananas and fruit and stuff like that on the sidelines. But we'll send all that information out. But we're trying to take, when it comes to the GA, we're trying to take, obviously some of the parent volunteers and managers have done a fantastic job within their clubs. We're trying to take that stress away and just let you guys enjoy watching your kids play. I'll deal with the stress. Me and Bobby will deal with the stress. Is there a payment plan? Yes.
Yes,
Louis?
there's a payment plan. We like to get it collected from the time we start until I think we give each family 6 months. You're welcome for bringing GA to Louisiana. It's something we've been very excited about and pushing for a long time. So it's an awesome opportunity for us.
Each team is expected to get 10 league games, preferably 5 in the fall, 5 in a spring season, just depending on the schedule. It may be different compared to what teams we have to play. Each team is required to do 1 showcase in the fall, 1 in the spring. For those showcase events, this year they've gone to California, they've gone to other places as well. With friendlies, I spoke to the GA commissioner yesterday. We were allowed to go outside of GA teams to look for friendlies. So as soon as the schedule comes out, myself and Bobby will be working on getting each age group friendlies. It may be us going up to somewhere in Houston to play either San Antonio or the Dash in the friendlies. Looking to go a little bit up north as well to try and get some friendly games in as well. But we'll definitely work on that and try and get friendly games in and try and get teams to travel to Baton Rouge to play us as well. So we eliminate a lot of traveling costs there. Like I said before, you cannot play club and GA. You have to choose one or the other. To contact for sponsorship information is Louis, correct?
Yep.
If you don't belong to either of the three.
When Kieran says about club and GA, if you make the GA team, that is the first and primary commitment. Though all those commitments need to be satisfied. If there happens to be an opportunity and you get approval from the directors to play in a game just because it's an open date and your soccer player wants a little bit more, if they approve it, then it can be done. Same thing when it comes to high school. Once we finish our commitments, if you can play high school and GA at the same time, and there's a way to work that out, and we are working on ways, but I won't say that it is, straight up they can coexist in the beginning. But once we fulfill our commitments with the GA showcase, and our older players are going to want to be at that GA showcase. Once we're done with that, we are going to try to stay away from any GA training or matches until high school's over. All right, sorry, Kieran.
Yeah, another question. If you're not within the three clubs, can you be chosen a full-time player? Yes, you don't have to be affiliated with one of the three clubs. That's why we said we are opening tryouts or player identification for anyone who wants to come in and have a look. And if they're good enough, should I say, to play at the level, then you'll be selected. Estimated boys side additional travel costs.
Estimate from boys side. Well, one thing with the boys side this year, we did have to do some traveling to Texas and even farther for one game. We don't have to do that with the girls. It's going to be at least 2 games on a weekend. We're looking to try to play the farthest teams somewhere at a neutral site. This being our first year, there will be a little bit more travel, but we have been told that once we're in and after year 1, then it will be straight up home and away.
Rosters will be finalized 48 hours after the last tryout date. So everybody will get a notification of what team they made, or if they made the team 48 hours after our last tryout, which is May the 9th or the 8th, correct? Was the last tryout date. And then 48 hours from there. High school play, like we said, and this goes to with Robert's question as well. We will have GA games probably until after Thanksgiving, and then we'll have obviously the showcase event, and then after that all players can report to high school. Now, bearing in mind high school season starts, official games don't start until the 2nd week of November. Technically the kids are missing the first 3 weeks of high school, and that's including Thanksgiving break. So that's our stance on there. And just like Louis said, as kids go off to high school after that, we won't have any practices or any games until the high school season is concluded, and then everybody will come back, and then we'll restart the season again for the GA for the girls. The furthest travel right now is, Louis, if you want to go back to that graphic of the teams that we're playing.
The teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, our furthest travel, GA is trying to limit us to 2 flights a year. So one in the fall, one in the spring. Right now, obviously, our farthest travel right now is the 2 Missouri clubs, Sporting Kansas, Sporting Louis, sorry, and the other Missouri club, and then we've got one in Kansas as well. They're still working on conference realignment. We had a meeting. The 2 Missouri teams may only play cross-conference games in our league, so they may not play all the teams in our league because of what conference they're in. So as of right now, estimate that we'll have at least 1 flight, 1 major flight in the fall, 1 major flight in the spring, and that will be also not including the showcase, which the showcase is in California in December time.
They don't want us to have to do more than 1 league match flight a season. And then depending on the showcase, that would be an additional flight whenever the teams attend a showcase.
There will be no A or B team. It will be just 1 team for each age group. And Miss Leslie's asking who the 06 coach is. Unfortunately, it's me. You guys are stuck with me. How far into Texas do we have to travel? Right now, I don't know where's BVB's in North Texas, so just below Dallas, and then San Antonio and Lone Star in Texas, which will be obviously San Antonio will be one of the furthest ones. Seems like Ms. Leslie's happy with me being their coach.
How about other questions?
And like we've said before, myself and Bobby's email are on the website and on the stuff. So if you ever need to contact us and you think of a question tonight, tomorrow, or whatever, shoot us an email and we'll be happy to answer all those questions. The FAQ on the website has been updated as well. So some of the answers to the FAQ is on the website. If you want to just go and have a look on there as well, some of those answers are there as well. How many weekends to travel? It just depends on our schedule, Ross. We're not too sure right now how many weekends we'll have to travel. Like I said, the first weekend of play date is Labor Day weekend. So from Labor Day weekend until
Mid-November
will be
the
our
showcase.
Yeah, then our showcase. So I'm not too sure. That they did say that they didn't want it to be one weekend where we're traveling, say to San Antonio, we're playing 2 games there, coming back, and then the next weekend we're having to fly to somewhere else. They're trying to spread out some of the travel so that we're not back to back and whatnot, and having to travel so far in such a short space of time.
Can we do fundraisers for the additional fundraisers, other fundraisers for the team? Yes, I think so. I mean, we want to, if we get most of that practice jersey sold, it'll take care of all the team expenses. But if we get some of the jersey and some up by other means, sure.
Team practices will probably start. We're probably looking to shoot for the date of the last week in July. Will be probably the start date. We may start earlier depending on if we line up friendlies in August. We may start a little bit earlier. But like I said, all that information after we get the scheduling will go out. So plan right now, end of July, last week of July. Will there be ability to add players? We'll always, myself and Bobby, we're always looking, we're always evaluating players outside of the program. So yes, there may be an opportunity if a roster is limited and they need to add a player, we can certainly look at them, but we'll also be looking to see if there's players around that we haven't looked at. We've definitely like to invite them to come out, at least to train and try out within the team.
I think a little bit of that depends too on who comes out and the strength and the age group. You know, on the boys side, I think the 09s, 08s, 07s, 06s were pretty full from the get-go. The 05s, I don't think we rostered all 18 players, and maybe not for the 03s either. And there were a lot of opportunities for players to play up. There were enough opportunities for players to play up that a lot of times they were saying they didn't want to play up on the boys side. But we were adding players throughout the season, especially the older age groups on the boys. And I think we're still adding one or two here in the spring.
Do we play league games every weekend? We're hoping that we don't have to travel every weekend and we have league games every weekend. But I can't give you a definite answer if we're going to have league games every weekend or every other weekend. I would expect
That's pretty accurate.
minimum 2 weekends a month. That will be a big travel. That will be the minimum I would expect. For the 10s next Thursday, yes, it was originally put in Baton Rouge, but it will now just be in Lafayette for the 10s next week, and I'll send an email out to the guys who are registered up just to let them know about that. Team camp, we will typically do what the boys did this year. The team camp will be, if we start in the last weekend of July, will be either the Saturday and Sunday will be 2 time slots, and we'll do team camp that way for to get the guys going at the start of the season. So 2010s, do they use numbers that they? Yes, the 2010s, if they've got their numbers, just bring that number to the ID camp on Thursday. But we have noted their numbers as well. So if you lose them, if you've lost them, that's fine. Ideas of practice times for the 05 girls. 05 girls are in the second time slot, which is 7 till 8:30 on Tuesday and Thursdays.
So you had it, I think, on that practice schedule, Kieran, the 5:30 to 7 would be the 2010s, 09s, and 08s. And then 07, 06, and 05s, 7 to 8:30.
Yeah. No part-time player option. That is only an option we're entertaining for the Shreveport players.
Or the players from Mississippi.
Yeah. There will be additional goalkeeping training. We haven't put that schedule together yet, but when we host team practices on Tuesday and Thursday, there'll be a time slot where all the goalkeepers will go and train.
I think in talking with the coaches, one idea is after that 5:30 to 7 session, so from 7 to 8:30, splitting up the younger goalkeepers and the older goalkeepers, 45 minutes to an hour each on those Tuesday and Thursdays. Yes, can players from Mississippi try out for the team? Yes.
And
anyone in our state is eligible. And anyone outside of our state is eligible if they can come in and be committed to the team.
And yes, we have been in contact with some of the Mississippi teams, and they're looking to send players as well. Mr. Bodefield said, can his daughter try out? Yes, can try out for 2010s. If she's good enough to play, she'll get selected. They do. And it's all done on their governing body. So we're tied by LHSA and their rules. Mississippi might have a different rule. I know that their high school season coincides with their club season as well. So I don't think there'll be much of an issue with them playing in the GA.
I think Mississippi is similar high school to us. It's Tennessee has high school in the spring,
Yeah,
And
there's a,
now
yeah, there's a little difference.
Tennessee has high school in the fall, Alabama has high school in the spring.
Yeah. You do have to try out in your age group, but the player in question is a 2011, and we don't have a 2011 team because they're U12. So that's why I said they can try out for the 2010s. But everybody else must try out in their age group.
Oh, a little different. They start in October. Okay. Well, we technically start in October too.
The fees, Louis, you want to go back to the fee page?
No.
You have nothing to apologize, sir. This is why we're doing it, so that all these questions can get answered and everybody knows exactly what's going on. And like I said, all the information is updated on the FAQ on the website as well. So if you've missed anything and you think of anything that you need to look at, certainly visit our website, the TDP Elite website. All the information and all the FAQ is updated as well. And if you need to ask any more questions, like I said, feel free to email myself, Bobby, and we'll be happy to answer some questions.
Hey, one little thing I want to clarify, the 05 is a U19, so that includes 05s and 04s.
That is the collaboration. So somebody's asking about BRC Fire and Lafayette. That is the collaboration that we had a show that we had the first player pool between the three clubs to get into the boys side and the girls side. So and the thing is, we don't want to turn around and say, hey, you cannot try out if you're not part of each club. The biggest one is we're trying to open this up for all the players in the state, and whoever wants to play, whoever's good enough to play, to give them an opportunity to play. But BRC Fire and Lafayette, we had to do the legwork first to show the collaboration that we're willing to work together as three clubs at the very start, and then eventually, hopefully, pull in many other clubs and make this a really good process and really good thing for the entire state.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, as an individual club, and even many years ago, as with 2 or 3 teams, they wouldn't even entertain it with 1 team, 2, 3 teams. You had to have the full pathway, and we never, even though we tried, they never gave us the time of day because they never really felt like any one club could compete across the board in every age group. But when we demonstrated that we could put stuff together, put the players together, work together, because a lot of people say they can work together and then they have a hard time doing so. But when we demonstrated it and then did it with the boys, it was the reason, the collaboration, the partnership was the reason why we got into MLS Next. And it's also the reason why we have gotten into GA. But the partnership and collaboration does not prohibit players from anywhere else to join in. We want players from all over the state. We want the best players in and out of the state to come play for us. Our tournament's an option. No, we can play, as long as we fulfill our GA commitments, we can play other friendlies, other showcases, other ID events, and having a GA club, a GA program helps us get into just about anything we want to play in.
We do not anticipate the only age group that's going to be combined is the 05-04 age group. Every age group will have enough players to play in, and that's why the reason why we got into it is because of the pathway of U13 to U19. So every age group will have a team, just like on the boys' side and the girls' side.
A lot of great questions. Any others? I mean, every club around the state, folks, we've been chasing 1, 2, 3 different leagues with our top teams for years, and going here, there, and everywhere to have a crack at the highest levels and the best showcasing opportunities. Well, it is here. It is here now, and so we need to make the most of it. Everybody together. You're very welcome. So again, if you can always reach out to us, everything that we have and any new information, like Kieran was saying, the FAQ, it's all updated on the website, LATDP Elite.com. And we'll continue to add and post information. And Kieran's going to put his email in the chat and Bobby's as well. I'll put Bobby's in there.
I was just about to do it.
Okay, go ahead. All right. Thank you so much again, folks. And again, we'll have this posted and available if anybody wants it and requests it. Look forward to seeing you all soon.
Please go and register up.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.